How to become a masterful state designer. Most people live life completely unaware of the moods or states that they find themselves in, or that they have the superpower to be able to actually consciously create states of being. We're not taught this stuff in school. And that is why I've made this 3-step video for you today to not only start to become very aware of the current default states that you find yourself in, but also to beautifully design more resourceful ways of experiencing life. We only have resources available to the state that we're in. So if we're feeling angry, upset, or fearful, it's very hard to activate that innovative, problem-solving aspect of mind. We can only see through the lens of our current state of being. So it makes sense then to not only become hyper-aware of the states that we're in, but design super powerful ones as well. Have you ever had that experience where you just woke up on the wrong side of the bed? From the moment your feet touched the floor, you thought to yourself, today is going to suck. And as you moved through the day, you collected evidence for the statement. Well, this is because at any given moment in the day, we didn't become aware of the state that we were in. A state of being is comprised of a sensation or emotion or series of feelings that are coming up in the body and a story narrative that goes with it. These two create an internal feedback loop. So we've had an external trigger, goes up to the narrator in the mind, which is judging or giving the situation a particular meaning. Often this meaning will come from our subconscious beliefs about the world, our preconceived perceptions of reality. Most of the time this is given to us unconsciously. You can start to take charge of your moods today and no longer blame it on the mood. So step number 1, become aware of your current default moods or states of being. There'll be certain things that will trigger you into these particular headspaces. Start to become aware of what those triggers are. Our triggers are our teachers. They show us where there are unresolved traumas or limiting beliefs that are hindering our experience of life. The more flexible we can become with our perception by being able to reframe our reality gives us immense power, being able to move through the world as meaning makers. Recognizing that if something is triggering me externally, I can intercept that and understand what is being triggered here and how to respond versus react to the situation. Perhaps we find ourselves quite anxious often, or we find ourselves easily angered. Whatever the current states of being are, I invite you to get super curious. The first step really is awareness. Just being able to recognize our state is already going to change everything. Step number 2, meet the need. When we start to work with our emotions, recognizing which emotion is coming up and being able to translate the information that that emotion contains, we're then able to meet the need of whatever's coming up. So for example, if we've had an external trigger like an argument with a partner, when we recognize the need, perhaps the sensation that came up was hurt. As we work with this emotion of hurt, we may discover that what hurt really needs is to be heard or to be hugged. When we recognize the need, we are more able to either meet that need in ourselves or to communicate that with our partner or our colleagues. This immediately allows that emotion to be able to move through the body. Step number 3 is building conscious states of being. So how do we do this? Like I said earlier in the video, a state is comprised of certain sensations that are coming up in the body, a movie that's playing in the mind, and a particular posture that our body is taking. If we can take control of any aspects of this, we're able to pattern interrupt long enough to be able to shift into a new state of being. So for example, if we start with the sensation itself, we may be able to use step number 2 by being able to identify the emotion, recognize the need, and meet it so that the emotion may move through the body. Or we might interrupt the mental story that's going on there with a reframe. We can do this by asking, what other way can I look at this situation? Is there another perspective that I could gain about this particular event or situation? What am I needing to learn from this particular event that will help me to be able to move through it in a more flexible or resourceful way? This way, we're being able to take control of that story before it runs away with us. Before we start blaming or saying it's unfair, we want to be able to gain more awareness, stretch that story so we don't get stuck in it. Or we could become aware of the posture that our body has taken. Something as simple as when when we feel quite anxious, perhaps our chin will drop, our shoulders will hunch forward, and we'll take a posture of feeling small.
Just by becoming aware of the current posture of the body and consciously shifting them helps us to move out of those default states. For example, if our chin is down and our shoulders are rolled forward, just by lifting the chin or rolling the shoulders back actually allow us access to a new state of being.
I hope these tips helped you to become more conscious and aware of your states. I would love to hear your comments, so please drop some below. If you want to be notified for more videos like this to gain tools that you definitely didn't learn at school, then like and subscribe for future videos.